So this is a new Craftsman here, the same as the Dewalt. And what about the Metabo 18 volt and this new CC, which can also use Makita batteries? I'll get all three of these on the dyno like normal. And we'll go ahead and cut some rebar and see how they perform in that manner. Now the CC, and it comes with two generic 4 amp hour batteries in the Amazon kit there for $70. Also, you get the cheap charger, 4 cutting discs that are 4-inch, and the spacer bushings you're going to have to use to adapt this actually to the tool. I would assume they're using the 4-inch to get that cutting speed up. Shaft lock here on the top. It does have a push button here, which allows you to adjust the orientation of the handle. You have a trigger and a trigger lock. Pretty straightforward. And again, this will accept Makita batteries. So the Metabo, pretty much the same as the 12 volt version. The only big difference here is the base, allowing us to use the 18 volt platform. Trigger in the center, brushless motor, single direction there, metal shield with a plastic cover, shaft lock there on the bottom, Allen key holder, battery release. Coming with an assortment of 5 discs. The Craftsman here looks a little bit similar to the Dewalt, but there's quite a bit different. With no LED on the base, Allen key holder on the base, which is magnetic, LED light here on the front. So you have an aluminum shield here with a steel base for your depth setting, and then a vacuum port right there on the front, which uses a swivel adapter there. But just like the Dewalt, we have the shaft lock, we have forward reverse there, and we have that trigger. So one thing that is interesting on the Craftsman, the max watt outs of 500 using the 2 amp hour battery, with the Dewalt here claiming 550 using a 2 amp hour battery. And the Craftsman is made in China, and the Dewalt here is made in Mexico. Now the Craftsman does come with 3 discs here, multi-purpose tile and metal. So I went ahead and got a rough estimate here, again, of max cutting depth. It's interesting to note that the Craftsman here is a little bit less than the Dewalt, and that's due to this different shield here and this bump out on the motor housing compared to the Dewalt. I grabbed the Weightwood battery as well. I took no load RPM readings. And yeah, you can already see an issue here with the CC coming in at only about 12,000 RPM, which is definitely going to be a problem when cutting metal, which is probably why they provide these larger discs. But when we look at the Metabo and the Craftsman here, they're actually at the upper end, running roughly 18,000 RPM. Now the CC max watts, it does come with a 4 amp hour, which provided 408. And I threw the Makita 6 amp hour on there, see if we can get any sort of boost, and it came in at 406. With the Metabo here, the watts are pretty low, pretty much what we would have expected considering how poor the 12 volt version did. And honestly, you might as well run the Slim HD pack versus the 5.2, the 5.5, the 8, or the 10 here. There's not much gain there going up to those bigger battery packs. Now with the Craftsman, the 1.5 and 2.0 were roughly about the same, with a boost there using the 4.0, and again another jump when using the 6 or the 9 amp hour. Max watts out, kind of really no big surprises here. Yes, this 18 volt Metabo is a lot stronger than the 12 volt, at least here it was able to spin the dyno up, but the max watts out came in actually under the M12. And the CC actually beat the M12. Now, again, not by much, but it is quite interesting that it did beat the Milwaukee here. With the Craftsman running right up near the Dewalt and Rigid here, of course, if the Craftsman had the benefit of the power stack, I would say it would be right there with the Dewalt. Now the watts at 15,000 RPM. Yeah, we couldn't even get to 15,000 with the CC, so it's not even on the list here. Again, no load was 12,000 RPM. But the Metabo actually came in above the Bauer, but below the Makita, with the Craftsman coming in right there with the same number as the Dewalt, just below the Rigid. Rebar cut test. The Metabo did pretty much what we would expect. Wasn't the greatest, but it did get the job done. Now the Craftsman, yeah, performed just like the Dewalt here, power right through. And the CC here, yeah, downright horrible. I did end up using the 4-inch disc that came with it. So we compare those times to previous testing here for the 20 volts. Getting that Craftsman right with the Dewalt. Metabo actually beating out the Bauer. And the CC coming in last. I'll leave the link below to the previous video if you want to see the 12 volt results. So here is an overall table if you want to compare some of those specs. So what's my overall takeaway? Well, I'd probably stay away from this Metabo here unless you are just solely running this platform. I think there's a few other better options on the market. The CC, another one I would probably stay away from. Not the greatest performance. I mean, you are getting 2 batteries and the tool for roughly $70 if it's not on sale on Amazon there. Maybe if you're doing the occasional work, but overall I probably wouldn't recommend this. Craftsman, about what I expected, just quite a bit different here when we side by side compare the Dewalt to it. It's very interesting to me that these are quite a bit different. I would expected them to just change the base and the color and call it good. Honestly, to me, I think it really depends on application. If you're wanting something with a built-in depth gauge, yeah, probably go with the Craftsman here. And if you're wanting something with a better dust collector, then you would have to look at the Dewalt. It's just funny that the Craftsman has that swivel there for your extractor, and this Dewalt here is rigid. But overall, both are great options in my opinion. You can't go wrong if you're running either one of these platforms. If you're running rigid or even Ryobi, both of those are pretty good as well, especially when you put the 21700 cell battery packs on the Ryobi. And it looks like we are getting those new packs, the Edge packs here, hopefully this summer. So you can look forward to that. So definitely something to look forward there. But hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.